Thank you.
Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Tits Up and Wings Out. Here we explore how to lead with the heart, embody divine essence, and embody your own presence so you can really get paid damn well and have an enjoyable life. So this is around business and everything. So today I have Ragan Thomson with me. She's amazing. Regan, please tell us, um, who are you? What do you do?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that. First off, I love this woman. She's hilarious. That's all I have to say. Number one, I love the laughter. And let's see, who am I? That question has evolved greatly over time.
No
Um,
shit.
Currently, I would say I'm just here as a messenger for spirit. I serve as an intuitive, a guide, a compassionate guide. I serve as a teacher, a spiritual teacher, a healer on the planet. I've been doing this work for a very long time, a lot of lives. I believe that I just came here once again in a body to help to evolve this world into greater consciousness and love, really helping people learn to love themselves, each other, to care for themselves, to care for each other. And I work a lot in the local scale in the past, and then a lot globally at this time. So I really kind of work from local to global in a pretty large capacity, especially the last few years. It has been a really beautiful experience of enjoying being with everyone in my community, and then letting that community work slash work at my home and my family really help me see the world picture through that work, the local work, and hopefully to spread what I'm learning at home and in the community to the entire globe, which is really just, again, it is about community, it is about love, it is about care. And yeah, I enjoy it so much. I absolutely feel like service to the world is an absolute blessing. Just when I think I'm going to be doing less of it in a day, somehow every moment is filled with service, whether it be
Yes.
in my to my people that I work with in facilitation or healing, or it's with my children, or it's with my husband, or it's with my turtles, or it's with my dogs, or it's with my hamster. You name it. I am in constant service to other, and I also very much love to take good care of myself. So.
Perfect. That is so huge. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so today, Reagan and I are going to be talking about the sovereign heart, and this is all about leading from within. This is in life, in business, and beyond. So, my darling, what does it mean to, I think we need to unpack the word sovereign because I've heard that a lot, and let's just get some clarity around that before we move into that.
Awesome. That's so great. I was really happy that we're going to be speaking about this today because the general work that we do each month, it seems like we're given kind of a temperature of what's happening in the world by the divine, by spirit. And this month, it was all about sovereignty once again. And so it's so in alignment, this topic. So our understanding, the only reason why we can understand it is because we've been on a consistent journey to become a sovereign system, which means to me, it's the same thing that we talk about in the beautiful Matrix movies. Those are not films, as we know, they're actually documentaries. So really, a sovereign system to me is the unplugging from the matrix. It's becoming completely free of the collective unconscious. You become in complete ownership of your own system, your chakras. You know yourself is to love thyself, is to know thyself. You start to know yourself enough and love yourself enough and accept yourself enough that your system becomes sovereign. You become kind of impervious to the outer world. You no longer can be rocked by what's happening politically, globally. With folks, you feel pain still, you still have emotion, you still have feelings. That does not stop, but it no longer has the ability to rock you so that you're somehow being pulled somewhere. You're no longer buying into the need tos, the shoulds, the have tos and the supposed tos, right? You're starting to really live from this sovereign, empowered internal space of really getting to listen to the beautiful guidance that's coming in from spirit, from the divine. Again, we say different words because everybody connects differently, right? So spirit, divine, consciousness. For you, maybe it's universe, it's God, whatever it is, but something is guiding you, this beautiful, presence that you feel and this energy, this guidance. And that is what you're governed by. You're governed by guidance that is this beautiful higher guidance that is offering you assistance, support, direction. And no longer is it being guided by, again, some sort of being or news or some sort of person saying you need to be doing this. You just is that doesn't happen anymore when you're a sovereign system. You really are just checking in moment to moment, be like, what do I choose? What do I choose? What is in the highest and the greatest for this moment? And so you're in connection to your soul, you're in connection to the divine spirit, and you just feel, okay, this next choice is literally, it's an inside job. I'm coming to it within my own energy system, and nobody's telling me what to feel or what to do. And even if they did, I would be checking in very adamantly and saying, let me check on that. Let me just be with that for a moment. So it's really just getting this wonderful empowerment in your system to feel, I think it's liberation. I think that sovereignty is literally the essence of liberation. I think that if you're not a fully liberated being, you're on your way when you become a sovereign system. Yeah.
I love that. I love the way you're unpacking this too, because, for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like you're talking about being like a self-sustaining energetic ecosystem from within, not worrying or not being dependent on outside sources,
Mhm.
meaning social media, whatever, news, all those things,
Yeah.
or you're psychic, or as, as many are,
Facilitator.
very addicted. Um, and it's so true, because that's coming up for me and my clients as well too, is like we have to go back to, it's almost like a reset. We have to go back to nature. This is our natural state of being, is being sovereign, is what I'm saying, peeps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's so spot on. I mean, it is our natural state of being. And we have been living on a planet where that's gotten rocked. We've really started to especially from a
Yeah.
dominant patriarchal historical timeline, right? It's completely normal that many people started to go, okay, I need an intercessor between me and the divine and spirit. I have to have something that says to me, tell me what to do and who should I be? And that is the dominant patriarchal historical timeline. And so we're moving out of that. We're moving out of that right now. We're moving into something brand new. A lot more feminine's coming in, a lot more divine feminine. And gosh, it's going to help balance all that out and hopefully, diminish that really kind of unconscious way of being that we've been a part of. And it's so understandable that we have completely forgotten that we have this empowerment within us that is such a natural, it's the natural state of who we are, because we are souls in a body. I mean, we are these amazing luminous light beings.
Oh my gosh. So true. Okay, so I suppose, and I find it, I love the paradox here, because we're talking about unplugging, and of course we're doing a podcast, and we're online, so I'm curious, how do you suggest people typically find this? Because for me it's about balance, right? So how do we find this balance, or how do we become sovereign while living in the modern world, and or running a business in this way?
Yeah, great question. Well, I mean, practice is so helpful. It really is. Finding a way to center yourself and ground yourself on a consistent basis, whatever that is for you, for anyone, is pretty essential. It has been for quite some time, but it is now again. Everyone has their unique way to practice. When we say ground, like really getting yourself planted on the earth, really starting to, and in that grounding, in that connection to the earth, whether it be just take off your shoes and walk on the earth and do a 5 minute meditation or prayer or whatever it is, connecting yourself to this amazing energy, especially of our glorious planet, Mother Earth. That's one exceptional way. And from there, it's like, how do I, from here, what's the best choice for me today? Like, and every day that balance is going to change. I mean, I used to think balance was some sort of specific recipe I was going to experience every day. And I am a Libra, so I believe me, I was the seeker of balance throughout this life. Like, this is my big topic of exploration and discovery. And then I started to go, oh, wait a minute. So every day is a new opportunity to come into a different balance based on my energy, my mood, what's moving through my system, what's happening in my current temperature of the people that I love and care about in this household, what's being called forth for me to do to serve at this moment. It all kind of comes into this little recipe. And then you go, okay, well, what is the balance for today? And I think that I know that I've had to really let go of some sort of idea I had about each day and like what I was going to accomplish. And here's my list. And I had to let go of what was really motivating me to to follow that list. And if I didn't follow it the way I needed to follow it, somehow I was not doing enough, or I wasn't going to be worthy, or I had, whatever threads I needed to work through. So it's not only just let's talk about what this is, but it's also like what's causing us to not be able to follow some sort of balance in our life because we're pushing on ourselves. We're pushing on our system. And I think we just have come out of a big world process with that dominant patriarchal timeline of a lot of doing energy. So I think that if we can start to purify the doingness out of our system, move more into our beingness, right? Like our beingness is enough. And then start to bring in certain action-oriented pieces of like, how am I going to show up in my work today? What's the next initiative? Like bringing my beingness into my marriage, to my friendships, to my partnerships, that naturally creates balance. So sometimes someone will say, well, that sounds so easy. I don't think I'm there yet. We get that because I also had to go through quite a journey. And I think it's definitely changed now. It was a little bit more arduous before. I think we're in a very different time, more light's coming into our planet. The awakening truly is happening on our planet. There's a lot more light and people and the planet. So if you choose to go, you know what, I want to clear this stuff out. I'm ready to let go of this pushing on myself and like what I need to be doing. And I don't want to, I need to succeed. That old kind of trajectory and paradigm, it's within us, but rapidly these days it can be purified much faster than it ever could before. And it's so amazing. I mean, it's like what we're actually inviting in is balanced from our beingness. And that is it just takes care of everything.
Love that. Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have notes. I have to stay focused. Okay. Because like so many things are coming in. So you're talking about balance and how things are different every day. And it just reminds me of, and I think we talked about this a little bit in a previous off-camera conversation, is like returning to nature, right? So, every day is different in nature. Every day is different. And even things that appear destructive are a cleansing.
Hmm.
And nature brings balance to that too. And I love that you're saying that, you had to let go of the to-do lists and in life and in business so that you could truly embody your sovereign self and your sovereign leader as you are now. And
Hmm.
I have these conversations with my clients all the time. It's like people get really frustrated because they're following a formula maybe that they found on social media or that someone else told them that they needed to do for their business, let's say, for example. And they're following, and they're not getting the results. And the truth is, it's all about energy, right? So
Hmm.
if we focus less on the checklist and more on, as you say, what is it that I need to do today?
Hmm.
What needs to be done? That changes everything. And also, as I'm saying this too, I can imagine people um, feeling a lot of resistance around that. Like, how do
Yeah,
I let go of shit and still run a business? Like, okay,
I know.
this is where shit gets real because.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
for saying that because that literally came up this morning with my own business. And I had an opportunity to check myself again as I went into a team meeting for my own business. And there was a lot going on this morning with some different dimensions of the life process. Let's just put it that way.
yeah,
I woke up and I'm like, I gotta get to various schools. My husband's sick. Da, da, da. I mean, it was just like,
yeah, yeah.
one of those mornings, right? And I went, okay. So I kept breathing and working with it. And there was this change and there's a lot of change happening. I'm not doing as much non-reaction as possible, flowing with
Hmm.
this whole thing. By the time I got to the team meeting, you could feel I had like, there was various things that I knew we need to work with. And we had an agenda. And I just took a moment and just let the whole agenda within myself dissolve. And I just sat
Okay.
there as usual and said, hey, folks, I was late, but it's not like a problem because they're my team. And
Right, right
they're
on.
they're still working. They're still working. They got plenty. And I said, I'm going to be on at 9:05 for this video call. And I went, wait, what am I 9:05 I was like, I'm going to go get in my chair. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to be on video and I'm going to get some tea and then we're going to pray. And then they were like, oh my God, like the whole energy just shifted. Like the whole team was like, oh, and then like all this creativity and this movement of energy, right? So it's just an example of what happens when we take that moment to really like drop back in, even in the face of lots of action and needed to do task or whatever it is, that will mostly all get done. But when we take that beat and we take that breath and we drop in and we connect, what it does is it creates spaciousness. It creates space. And so even though you may have this idea of a list or an idea of what's going to happen, that now there's an opportunity for that to change if it's literally divinely orchestrated to be so. If you already have an idea about what it's going to be and it's all designed, and I'm not saying you can't create lists and you can't have goals, but if we can't open up the space for spirit to come in or for the divine to come in and say, hey, great ideas, but we have another door we like for it to open right now. And this door actually will take a, from 1 to 6 on your list will be completely not needed. You walk in the door, here's number 8, and you've already accomplished it. And it's so much more graceful, it's smooth, and it was rapid, and it was joyous. If you want to do from 1 to 12, just the way you have planned, that's fine. But the point is, if we do that drop in, if we take that breath, if we just show up, and then we say, okay, I understand there's work to do here. I'm willing to like surrender my list over to you, spirit. And now you can insert yourself where it's appropriate, and I will be guided to choose what's in the highest alignment with balance today. And I can say that the meeting went great this morning and we got a whole lot accomplished and everybody had a good time. And that would have been a
Mhm.
very different experience if I had shown up with this kind of rushed, oh no, we got to get through this. And, everyone's like, oh, this was not a very fun meeting. And now they get off the call and they're rushed to do their task. So it's somewhere I've been before that I don't want to be anymore. I know what that was like. Even if I accomplished that list of those tasks, how joyous did I feel? And I was always interested to say that I saw a door open, but then later I'd be like, oh, but there was this other door and it went here instead. And is that what I really choose? Or is that just what I feel like I should be doing? I think that's when we get stuck in those shoulds, have to, need to, supposed to's, is when we don't have that drop in moment and we start just going, going, going. And I think that again is starting to heal and resolve the contagion of the doingness on our planet. I think that's a big change for our planet that's happening right now. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. It's so true.
It's so true. Yeah. So I'm sure you see the same thing, the ebbs and flows of the congruent things that are happening, the themes, I call them. Okay,
Hmm.
this month theme seems to be, as you said, sovereignty. So yeah, it's about us. I agree. It feels like it's about us getting out of our own damn way. And the other thing that's really striking me, which I don't think a lot of people talk about, and I appreciate that you're bringing this up in the example, is as a leader, now this could be a leader of a team, the leader of your own business, however you see it, the leader of your family, whatever it is. As a leader, it's so important for us to stay grounded and also to embody the energy and cultivate the energy within ourselves. As you said, that creates spaciousness, tongue twister for me,
Mhm.
openness. And that's where the magic happens. We can
Mm.
step into that. Rather than, as you said, checking all the boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, this is what a boss needs to do, or this is what a leader needs to do. It's
Yeah.
more about, yeah, okay, go ahead, babe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think that's the wave of the future around conscious leadership.
yes,
I think that we've talked about conscious leadership for some time, but I think what it really is been unfolding. And I think that it has a lot less to do with checking boxes, and it has a lot more to do with presence.
yeah.
It has a lot more to do with really honoring the now and like working from where people are at, even energetically, like not pushing on anything. It's like, the world is happening for sure. We all have our initiatives, we all have our goals, we all have our endeavors. We're here to serve. And most likely as a soul, you came in and were like, I'm going to do these things. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And we have those who are beginners on the path to conscious leaders. We have those, we have some people that are not as awake. We have some people that are super awake. We've got a whole mixed bag out there. And it's understandable that people are seeking purpose. They're seeking to have a mission, and they are seeking to feel worthy within that. And and that can be completely purified, the whole worth thing, right? You can get to the point where you're like, I'm serving because I'm being guided to, and it brings me joy. And I will accomplish whatever I accomplish today, and I will just do my part. And that, if we can just get to the point where I think our conscious leaders just are aware that they're just doing their part. And that's
Yeah.
it. Like, and it's like their beingness within that part. I think that's the new wave. I think that's what's coming, is that, I mean, why would you want to be led by someone who's playing out the same programs and patterns that maybe they themselves are experiencing within, and then their leader is doing that as well? It's like, oh, we're not going to be able to like be a leader if we're basically doing the exact same thing we were doing before on our planet. So meaning like anything that we've been doing before, I think that's getting changed and purified and worked out. And it's awkward. It's an awkward time for a lot of folks, I mean, even like I said this morning, being, in that role, it was took a minute to like reconfigure for just a second, just to regain my full consciousness, because I was like getting pulled into some sort of like, oh, well, I'm not here on time and I've got this stuff to do. And, they're waiting. I was like, no, 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 no. And, I was at a big conference last week, so I wasn't able to be with them. So now we're catching up, supposedly, the whole, whatever the mind was trying to take me on, right? Some sort of ride. And I was like, oh, just the best way I can lead right now to be assistive here is to show them that it's all good, that it's okay, it's going to be okay. And presence, my presence, just being present here with them, and
Mhm.
them seeing that with all that I had going on, that still is available. Our modeling of presence. I think that's one of the most profound ways that we can lead.
Well, that's beautiful. I think the other thing that's coming up too is really the self-work,
Yeah.
being accountable to ourselves and essentially doing the work that's required to cultivate the energy, to be present, to let go of things, to expand. And I know there are a lot of people in the spiritual entrepreneurial space who, for example, teach people that meditation should be done every day and they're not doing it, just for
Hmm.
example.
Hmm.
You know, they there's shit you should be doing, is my point. And you need to do it. If you want to be an effective leader and want to make a difference for other beings on this planet, we need to do the work. There's no skating by. There's no cliff notes for this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ideally, I think if we're talking about leadership as far as conscious leadership, as we have been, um, that they've done a whole lot of inner work. They're not there. I think that walking the walk, talking the talk, there's no way to fake that. I think in the past there was some, and usually that got called out to the table at some point. Someone would say, well, so and so is supposedly this leader, but I heard that they're yelling at their employees and da, 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 what it's like, oh, okay. So not that that's a false leader. It's just a leader that maybe was not doing their full inner work, right? They had not maybe worked with their lower energetic system. Like I'm talking about lower chakral work, which is where most of our really dense stuff hangs out. And a lot of folks, especially in the past, I think the conscious past of what we had going on spiritually, a lot of people hanging out up here, just really upper chakral, like, oh, I'm happy and I'm good and it's positive, and I did the meditation yesterday, and it's like, and then it's not a judgment, it's just a fact that we really need to ground the light now all the way through our whole energy system. And whatever ways that you choose to do that, I think that's where we especially need to be doing that because our planet is going through such a major transition. So really connecting our system all the way through, from source all the way to our feet below or to the earth, like really getting into that really solid light work. And so, yeah, the inner work is so essential and it evolves, as you know. I mean, everyone's inner work evolves. If you've been on the path for a long time, you might say, oh, well, what was 3 hours of meditating every day? It's shifted to this and it's shifted to this. And I'm just listening to like whatever it is. I'm chanting mantra, I'm meditating, I'm just checking in, I'm just having a conversation here with spirit, like it's not a perfect recipe. It's just that it's a consistent, I think, drop in and check in your connection to again, however you connect, source, divine, spirit. You're just really going, hey, like what's in the highest again for my energy system here today? And you'll know, I mean, we know when we're not centered or conscious. I mean, I think there's just less availability. There's no luxury to pretending that we're conscious anymore. Be like, yeah, I'm here. I am. I'm in this meeting and I'm so conscious. People are like, you're really angry and I can feel you from a mile away. You're
Oh,
like,
I'm so glad you said that. I was just thinking that, like, when you were saying, when you're talking about there's no getting around it, I was thinking the same thing. Like, energetically, we just feel it. Whether people recognize that that's why they're kind of repelled by the person or whatever it is, like, you just intuitively, people know whether they're aware of it or not, that you're not doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing if you're in the space that you want to be in, for
yeah.
example.
And then
Um,
and then if we can just get really real with not being in that space, if we're not in the space, there's no perfection here. I think that also that it's about being very real now. I am feeling stressed. I feel pain right now. I am
mhm.
not, you know what I mean? Like it's, just because you're an evolved spiritual being doesn't mean that somehow you don't have feelings anymore or you're not experiencing pain in the world. Like, so, this authentic, transparent communication style as well. I mean, I've worked with folks who've been, on the path a long time, and sometimes they reach what's called a glass ceiling. They're like, "Oh, I fully resolved all that." And then it's like, "Well, have you? Because you're still in a body, and so I'm pretty sure there's no destination, and you're also kind of angry right now, and you're not saying anything about it." So, it's like, okay, right? I mean, no, there's no
Mhm.
arrival. I mean, we're constantly evolving, and I was very open with my team this morning saying that here I am. I'm taking a minute. It's not possible to get everything done this morning that I wanted, I love you all. Let's ground, let's pray, let's do some work. So then we did, and we felt
Mhm.
ground. So
Mhm.
the point is, if we can just let go of this need to be perfect in the realm of our practice or perfectionism within our consciousness, this just doesn't even, it's not even a real thing. That's an illusion.
Yes, so true. The other thing that's coming up for me now too is, so as people are shifting and changing, and I agree with you, theme wise and what's coming up right now, and evolution is happening so quickly right now, and
Yeah.
I think for me, what I'm noticing, what's tripping people up a lot right now is their stuff is bubbling up now to be cleared, and they're rather than healing it, they're identifying with it
Mhm.
and holding on to it.
Mhm.
And I would like to say that just in general, any discomfort in your life is a whisper to your soul that it's time to heal this.
Yeah.
So whether that discomfort may be, an argument with somebody or, with the exception of physical pain, yes, everything else is in our minds and happening through the lens of our own experience. And so when we jump into that and like, what is this situation telling me that
Mm.
needs to be healed? Instead of me saying, I am this situation and I'm stuck in this space and you're identifying as that, let's look at it from a different lens. What can I learn from this and how can I release it? Does
Mm.
that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks for sharing it out loud. Going full circle back to the topic of sovereignty,
Yes.
honestly, that what you just described, a whole lot of that inner work, and then that's when you become a sovereign system. Because yeah, just what you basically stated is, and this is also a thing that came up recently a little while ago. It's been coming up for quite a bit, but the theme around, the great spiritual awakening that's happening on the planet,
Mhm.
but in reference to accountability. Yeah, specifically that word. Um, that the new world, the new awakening world, awakened world, is an accountable world. It's a world where people are no longer pointing a finger and judging and shaming each other. It's a world where the discomfort that we feel, we start to go, where's that coming from? What is within me that's being activated right now? I
Mhm.
understand that as speaking to my friend here, I started to feel sad or I started to feel angry. I even felt myself judge them for a second, which is interesting. But then we are realizing in that moment from a conscious perspective that that energy most likely was already within us before we even were in that conversation, right? All they did was push the button inside you to realize that it's there. So, gosh, instead of judging them, blessing them for the opportunity to see something within themselves that they had not seen before, possibly. And then you get to go, okay, well, what's the inner work that I get to do? Not that I have to do, that I get to do that is going
Mhm.
to help me resolve this internally. And by the way, when you do that, it is gone forever. And I don't care what people think, like, oh, well, no, it came back again. And it's like so many layers. Yeah, there might be some layers. There might be a few layers to something that's been dense or heavy in your system. It may take a couple layers of forgiveness. It might take a moment or two to really do some good inner child work for a second. You might have a ego self that's like, I am going to stick around. I've been here for a long time. You're like, oh, okay, little ego. Guess what? I accept that. And I'm not going to hate you, but like, guess what? I'm not listening to this voice anymore.
Right.
Whatever your inner work is, we're making stuff up. If you want to bring that into your prayer work, your meditation work, or EFT, you name it, whatever modality is your choice. But the point is that that accountability is so key. And I think that's what we're being invited to as a more grand whole on our planet to step into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it really is. I mean, as we're wrapping up, I think I just want to remind our listeners that, when we become when we embody that light and we really let go of those things that have been triggering our meat sack, I shall just say, in this human body, we're still spiritual beings.
Yeah.
When we let things go, as you beautifully put it, the magic is in the spirit realm, right? So the magic is in letting go. When we let go and we get this other nudge, oh, here's something where you can skip 6 steps and just do
Mhm.
this one thing. Isn't
Mm,
that amazing? That's magic. That is not the thinking mind. That is energy and that is spirit. And that's where we're all headed.
for sure. I love what you shared. It's kind of miraculous, really. I mean, we really do live in such a miraculous, magical realm. We've been sold that it's this hard, arduous, just tough place. It can be in moments as our stuff rises and you look around and you're like, oh, what's that and this? Um, but we can get really good at our response to it in a new way. That I think our consciousness, as it grows, we become more in a response state versus a reactive
Mm.
state. And that's the cool thing about inner work is that you become less reactive. And then you start to see everything as a part of your life. Not, and it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And that it takes time. You know, if someone's like, well, how do I get there? I want to get there tomorrow. It's like, it can be like a layer, it could be a chunk, depending on, you know, and then suddenly your consciousness is growing and you're like, wow, yeah, this is a really cool place. Some neat things are starting to happen here. Oh, wow, I'm starting to experience love. Oh, I have this new relationship I'm in. Oh, it's interesting. Someone sent me this random check in the mail. I don't know. I didn't even know I had a relative that lives in Virginia who passed away. The point is, like, you're like, interesting. Is
Magic.
that what they were talking? Is that what they were talking about? It's like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, we live in
Yeah.
an abundant, prosperous universe, and it is acting in our highest good, but it will be what's within us that creates our reality. So the more we can clear that stuff out that is not of who we truly are, you can see what can happen from there.
Yes. Yes. Um, is there anything else that you want to leave the audience with about leading from sovereignty and having that sovereign heart?
Let's see, final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. That it's beyond worth it. I'm sure you've heard this before, everybody. That you're like, oh, I've heard them say that. I can say that on the toughest of moments where you're like, this is hard and I'm just not liking the way I feel. Every time that you choose to go inward in the face of that discomfort and you do that work internally, you liberate yourself a little bit more. And then eventually, which is amazing, you completely unplug. You completely unplug from the collective matrix. And
Hmm.
that is a very cool place to be. What that means is you're going to be creating a reality that is unique to your soul purpose, mission, process. May not look like what anyone had in mind for you. It might require some change, but nothing that changes has to happen overnight. It can be gradual. And you'll be choosing to change because your frequency now will not match up with certain maybe possible things that you were up to before. Your frequency now has become higher. It's become more of a higher vibration. So you're going to be looking for a match to that vibration. And so sovereignty is just this awesome opportunity to exist in a high vibrational frequency, and then that will bring in new relationships, possibly, or new opportunities that match that frequency, or new work that you're excited about, more abundance, more prosperity, a deeper sense of peace within, joy, your innate joy of your soul will be accessed. There's so much goodness that can come. And it's just encouraged that we just keep going. You know, just when you think that you can't go another day, it's so worth it. Yeah, it's beyond worth it. Mhm.
Keep going. Keep
Keep going.
going. You're gonna
Woo!
make it. We're in the finish line cheering. We're
And we're
not
in
at the
this
finish line, but
together.
we're
We're all
yeah, we're
connected
ahead of you
here.
cheering you on. How about
Yeah.
that? Yeah. There's
You're
no
not
finish line.
alone by any means. Truthfully. I can feel
That's
like
so
that when
true.
you're in pain, right? You're like, I'm alone in my story.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah,
true.
you're
Yeah.
not.
And yeah, that's, the other thing, I know we're wrapping up. I keep
Yeah.
saying that. There's
Yeah.
so much to talk about. It's it's great to do your inner work, but it's also amazing to have in a community of like-minded people that you can check in with that speak your same language.
Yeah.
Because as a conscious leader, not everybody knows what the hell you're talking about.
No. No. So true.
Like you're just speaking a
100%.
different language.
Yeah, I mean, good news. A lot more people are understanding the language on our
Yes.
planet, which is great.
Mm.
You're spot on. It's so nice to have a wonderful group or a community that you can connect with. That could be in your nearest yoga center, to your nearest spiritual sanctuary you like to attend, or it could be some online wonderful group that you find. I know I'm doing a bunch of stuff with that kind of thing, or a spiritual class or awakening class. highly encourage finding something or some group or people that you can just share freely this way with. Yeah, it's very supportive. It's not a requirement, but it's very supportive.
It's helpful.
It's so helpful. I mean, we're doing it right now together, right? We're like, hey, I can talk to you freely, just the way I like to
Yes.
speak.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Reagan. Dude, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and it's so important for us to learn how to lead with a sovereign heart. And
Yeah,
I understand you have a gift for people who are interested, a free
yeah,
gift.
yeah, I
Tell
do.
us.
Yeah. So, I believe it's the meditations. There's 3 of them. We'll
Mm.
offer that to you all. I am also, specifically a soul journey teacher, soul activation, soul emergence teacher. So those meditations are all about that. So that'll be our gift. Highly encourage just listening to them and, letting them take you on the journey.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay, and all that information is going to be in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the show notes below. But if you're listening anywhere else, check the show notes. They will be there, my lovely. Reagan, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you and your wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, my
everybody.
darling.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.